An early Christmas present tonight in the Dome here on ACC Network Extra. Everyone inside in the holiday spirit. It's two top New York State teams, 10-1 Syracuse, 9-2 St. Bonaventure. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the Dome. Brian Higgins here alongside former Lemoyne head coach Steve Evans, and we got ourselves a great matchup tonight. And Steve, these teams are both winning, and they're doing it in similar ways right now.
Both teams are coming in on winning streaks, one with 6 and one with 4. But it's been their consistent play. Offensively, they're both scoring 70 points a game. Defensively, they're holding teams in the 60s. A little bit difference between the rebounding and the turnovers, but overall, it's a great matchup tonight.
Right now, we spotlight point guard play for Syracuse. That means Frank Howard. Against Buffalo Tuesday, it was the bad and then the great.
Yeah, Frank's a maturing point guard. He's making mistakes. He's learning from it. He's not coming out of the game. And for him to come back after those two key turnovers and knock down the biggest shot of the game shows a lot about his maturity level and where he's at as a player.
That gave the Orange the lead for good in their 81-74 win. Jalen Adams for St. Bonaventure. How about this guy? He's been outstanding all 4 years of his career.
He is a seasoned point guard. He's making it happen for his team, scoring 17 points a game. He's on the national watch list, not only for the Robinson, the Naismith, but also as a point guard, the Kuzi. So you're going to see a great point guard battle between these two guys tonight.
Let's take a look at the comparison between these two, Steve, and when you look at the numbers, they're pretty darn even between these two point guards.
You start off, point guards are judged by winning, and that's what both of these teams are doing. Other than their height, right down the line, pound for pound, we got a nice matchup between Adams and Howard tonight.
You want winning? Frank Howard, 10-1 this year. Jalen Adams, he's undefeated. He missed the only 2 losses earlier this season for St. Bonaventure with an ankle injury. Tonight's starting lineups for St. Bonaventure. It's not just the Jalen Adams show. They did beat Maryland without him earlier this season, much because of Matt Mobley. He beat Vermont at the buzzer a week ago. The team's leading scorer hit a 3 to beat the Catamounts. For Syracuse, we know the backcourt, Frank Howard and Tyus Battle. O'Shea Brissett has come into his own. He's riding a streak now of 4 consecutive 20-point games. He scored 25, a career high, in each of the last 2. Jeffrey Anderson will administer the opening tip, and we are underway tonight inside the Carrier Dome. Tyus Battle at his lowest scoring non-injured game of the season last time out. He'll try his hand at an early 3, and Tyus says not going to be like Tuesday.
Bonaventure switched that ball screen. If that's a philosophy they're going to try to do tonight, it'll be interesting to watch. They didn't switch back quick enough and allowed Battle to get that shot.
Now our first look at Jalen Adams with the ball in his hands. He'll drive, tough floater, connects.
Well, good as advertised, right off the bat with a nice floater.
Adams tested the waters in the NBA draft last spring, was never seriously going, but got to attend all the camps and the like before coming back to Olean. Here's Brissett. Battle's already hit. Now Howard tries to answer Adams. Foul on the rebounding act. It is on Pascal Chukwu. Mark Schmidt, 11 years into it in Olean, and this might be, Steve, his best team.
He's done a great job, and what he's done is he's been consistent. For as long as he's been there, they've stayed consistently middle of the pack, every now and then a good bounce. This is probably one of his best teams.
The Bonaventure fans are the ones with the early voice here in the Dome. Pretty easy ride up to the Cuse. Mobley. Passing inside the zone to Ianni. Denied. Taki denied. Taki again as Chukwu stuffed him. And Battle again will have another touch. Brissett. No good for 3. That's one thing St. Bonaventure doesn't have and hasn't seen a lot of. 7-2 on the inside of the defense against him.
Yeah, they've definitely got the going into the paint is going to be a little different today with Chukwu in there.
Ianni, way off the mark. Chukwu again defending. And Josh Ianni's been very successful this year, but is just 6'8". Body's tumbling behind the play as Chukwu could not get up for it. Adams
That's where Bonnie's is tough, is in transition as well, especially after a miss or a turnover. They like to go fast, and there's Mobley. He's the other threat. You got to worry about Adams. You got to worry about Mobley.
Mobley's their main threat from the outside, his 30th hit from deep from the season. And Mobley's coming off an outstanding 23-point effort a couple of nights ago in a big win against Northeastern.
Last year, Mobley had 9 threes in a game against VCU. He's got a school record, so that's a good sign for Bonaventure.
Both he and Adams can heat up from the outside. Battle fouled on the way through. Jim Boeheim, 42 years into it now. Officially 912 wins. And he's gotten 10 of them this season, off to an outstanding start with conference play looming after just this in Eastern Michigan prior to the ACC slate. Battle again grabbed on the outside. And that is 2 quick ones on Mobley, and that is not good for the Bonnies.
That's not what Coach Schmidt wants. Mobley just knocks his first shot. He's trying to be aggressive, getting into battle, trying to keep him off those ball screens, but unfortunately he's got to be smart. He picked up 2 quick ones.
Be interesting to see how long Mark Schmidt can afford to keep his leading scorer on the bench. Brissett, an offensive foul. Whistle happy start here with a couple fouls each way.
Definitely trying to set the tone, the officials. They want to keep the hands off the bodies and keep the game what it should be, a free-flowing basketball game.
We'll see how much Jalen Adams does now with his partner in crime, Mobley, on the bench.
A little bit easier for Syracuse right now to just key on one person as opposed to having to worry about the double threat that Bonnie's has.
Isaiah Brockington, who's now in that top corner of your screen, is the one that checked in for Mobley, the freshman. He played a lot more earlier this season when Adams was out injured and a travel on the drive. That's Courtney Stockard. He's wearing number 30 tonight. How about this? His normal number 11. This is nuts. They were in Buffalo, Canisius, a couple weeks ago. Jerseys are laid out before the pregame meal. Somebody in the hotel stole his jersey.
That's what happens when you're playing in those big games in Buffalo, those rivalry games. It's hanging in somebody's bedroom or
apparently
somewhere.
The word is the hotel got it on tape, so maybe they'll get it back at some point. Howard is denied on the way through by Ladarian Griffin. Adams in transition. The trailer Stockard. Now the freshman. Brockington hits from deep.
And Brockington's been able to shoot the ball from 3. When he's open, he gets good looks. He's shooting over 50% this year, and that's been a welcome in talking to Coach Schmidt about his team. They always knew he was a slasher, but he's showing him he can knock down the 3 as well.
His minutes have dropped considerably recently as Battle cannot answer when Adams got back from the ankle injury, but he was in there playing a lot early this season.
Bonnie's is doing a good job on the boards here, battling against Syracuse to start off the game.
Steal by Brissett. 1 on 5. Brissett fouled. Well, the Bonnies not afraid tonight in the Dome. Up early. Teams firing away from deep. Tyus Battle to start. The freshman answered.